Hello, ESCO 8th grade parents. I'm going to be providing some information through this presentation to help your 8th grade student transition into high school at ESCO High School. I'm Nikki Peterson. I'm the high school counselor. My contact information is listed on this slide. If you have any further questions after going through this presentation, feel free to contact me with the information provided. Through this presentation, I'm going to give you an explanation of the Explore results. Your student took a test this past fall as part of the pre-ACT series, and I'm going to go through the results of that. You should have received this test in the mail this past week. In addition, I'm going to go through the graduation requirements and some options that your student will have when in high school. I'm going to review some of the planning that we do related to post-secondary options throughout high school. And then finally, I'm going to go through the registration process for your student registering for 9th grade classes. The registration window is currently open and will be for the next few weeks here. And I'm going to bring you through that process and show you how to help your student register for their classes. All students took the Explore test this past fall as a part of a college and career readiness series, the ACT series. This test was required of all public school students in the state of Minnesota in 8th grade. There are two important pieces of information on the report. You'll see the score results. There's scores for all the academic areas that were tested, in addition to some career possibilities that they may be interested in based on an interest inventory they took as part of this test also. For further resources as to how you can use those results, you can go to ACT's website and get more information related to the score reports. The score report starts by explaining what your student scored on their test. The score range is between 1 and 25. This composite score is the average of all 4 academic tests, and then there's a breakdown in each of the academic areas. That score is also out of 1 to 25 score range. To further explain what your students' scores meant, they are compared with other students that have taken this test nationwide, and it gives you a percentile related to students taking this past fall, in addition to a column that reports how your students' scores compared to students within the ESCO school district, and a percentile related to that in each of the 4 categories. To further help explain your students' scores, I included a slide here that had the ESCO 8th grade and the national averages on the Explore from this past fall. The average score nationwide on the Explore was a 15.5, and ESCO students scored over a point higher on the composite with a 16.7 average score. And there's a breakdown of each of the other categories of the academic tests given with science, math, reading, and English, and a comparison between both the national and the ESCO averages. Part of the ACT series also includes a plan test. This test is given in 10th grade, and this is the test that's given the year before a student takes the ACT. So based on the Explore test, ACT gives you an estimate of what you are going to score on the plan test, which is given in 10th grade, and that number is listed based on your composite score from your Explore. Typically, the range starts a point higher than what you got on the Explore test, and that's primarily because the plan test is out of 32 points, so it's a larger scale than what the Explore is. And then the next test in the series would be the ACT, and that's even a larger scale, so that would be out of 36 points. And the plan does the same thing that the Explore does by anticipating what you're going to get on the ACT series, or on the ACT test. The next section discusses plans after high school, And this is part of a self-report that your 8th grader filled out when they were doing a non-test, the non-test items of the Explore test. They stated what their educational plans were for after high school, and at this point what their career area preference is. The next section on the report that you'll see is college readiness. Explore sets benchmark scores, and those are scores that ACT feels that students in 8th grade should be at in order to be on track to be college ready. And those scores are listed on your Explore report, what the benchmarks are, and based on what your students scored, you'll see if their readiness is below, at, or above those benchmark scores. And that's just ACT's measure of how likely your student would be ready for first-year college courses if they continued to, throughout high school, take college preparatory courses in the areas of English, math, reading, and science. So it's just kind of a snapshot of where they are at 8th grade. And if they continue to take challenging courses, college preparatory courses, that's their estimation or anticipation of if your student would be ready for first-year college courses when they get to that. The second part of the score report has to do with career possibilities. And as a part of this test, your student participated in an interest inventory with a number of different tasks related to certain occupations and careers. And on your child's score report, you'll see a shaded in area on the World of Work map. That shaded in area is potentially an area that they may be interested in exploring throughout high school as a possibility of a career that they would be interested in based on their likes and dislikes. To the right of that is a career area list, and it then takes that area from the World of Work map and lists out specific occupations that relate to those work possibilities. Next, we're going to go into some graduation requirements. Starting in 9th grade, your student will start accumulating credits towards graduation. And this slide shows the credits that they'll need 9th through 12th grade in order to graduate. It also lists the total number of credits for graduation. Students are required 9th through 12th grade to accumulate 24 credits towards graduation. And in addition to the graduation requirements related to the credit areas, students will also need to participate in college and career assessments, which are part of the ACT series. They took the Explore as an 8th grader. They'll take the Plan as a 10th grader and the ACT as an 11th grader, in addition to meeting standards in the reading and math MCAs. The reading MCA is administered in 10th grade and the math MCA is administered in 11th grade. So related to the graduation requirements, this is new to students starting in 9th grade. Some of the differences that they'll see as they start having more choices up until 9th grade, they've been registered for them. They've had classes that have been put into their schedule where particularly later in their high school career, 11th and 12th grade, they're having more options as to how they're meeting those graduation requirements. Students will start accumulating their credits based on semesters. So each semester is a half a credit, which is the first half of the year. They'll get a full year credit for a full year course. And then those credits need to accumulate to 24 credits or 6 credits per year. So students are starting their high school transcript, and in addition to accumulating the credits for graduation, they're also getting a class rank and a GPA based on their grades. Those will be on their transcript in addition to their test scores. And there are different options that students have throughout high school that are based on the class rank and GPA. One of the main options in high school, starting in 11th grade, is our College in the Schools program. So grades starting to be earned in 9th grade obviously are going to affect whether or not a student can participate in this program. The program is available to juniors in the top third of their class, so they can stay at ESCO High School, earn credits through their core classes in English, math, science, social studies, and start their college level transcript also. This program is available to juniors who are in the top third of their class, and that's usually approximately of a student with a GPA of 3.6 or higher. This program opens up to more students during their senior year, and that's typically the top half of the class with a GPA of a 3.2. In addition, the post-secondary enrollment options, those are when the student actually goes to the college and receives those same credits that they can earn through the College in the Schools program. That's something that I think is important for 9th graders to hear, because the grades that they are earning in 9th grade are going to be calculated into that cumulative GPA and relate to the different high school options that they have. An additional requirement is that a student takes the Accuplacer test in order to take and earn college credits. And during the senior year, we also have another option of an advanced placement credit, which is also used for college credits through a different program, and we have our highest level math class, a calculus, in that area. Some of the post-secondary planning that we do happens starting in 8th grade with this Explore test and getting students ready for high school and seeing how what they're doing in high school is going to give them several different options. And in each year we try to do some post-secondary planning to make sure students are looking at what options that they have after high school and are doing the things, taking the steps that they need to in each of the grades. One of the things that we do during 11th grade is we also have a semester class that all juniors are required to take that really start with the steps of planning for what students are wanting to do after high school, in addition to several other opportunities that are listed at each grade level throughout their high school years. So registration is currently open, and students will be able to go through the ESCO website to be able to register for their 9th grade classes. Your 8th graders will receive some guidance in the classroom on March 9th as to how to do this, and some of the other information that has been provided with graduation requirements and high school options and accumulating credits and GPA will also be provided to your 8th grader. There's resources available on the ESCO website with the registration sheets showing them what they need at each grade level. A course catalog which has the description of the courses that they will have, in addition to instructions on how to register. But students will be going through the parent portal of Infinite Campus, and that can be found under the parent tab on the ESCO website. And I'll lead you through how you can do that to help your student register. They'll have until the 13th of March to register online, and then that option will be taken down off the website for us to be able to build the schedule. But if you're on the ESCO webpage, you can go to the Parents tab, and you're going to go to Parent Portal. And if your student has forgotten what their username and password is, that is something they can stop in the high school office to get. However, they can log into the system with their username and password to be able to go in and register for their classes. So once they're logged into the parent portal, underneath their name they'll see a link to course registration. And underneath the course registration, when you click on it, this is an example of a 10th grader. However, for the 9th grade it'll look different. The required courses are already registered for you, and your requested courses by going under the course search and selecting whichever math class the student will be in will be your first step, as the math classes are different. They're not registered for them. But if you scroll through, you can see a description of the class, and then you hit request class and it comes up underneath your requested classes. You will see that the registration happens in units, and a full schedule of 7 classes would be 28 units. Students are allowed to be able to take a study hall every single year and still have enough credits towards graduation. So if that's the case, the units you're going to want to get to is 24. And you can continue to use the course search in addition to the resources of the registration lists in order to complete your registration. And please feel free to contact me or have your students stop in if they have any other questions when it comes to registration. So, thanks for taking the time to look at this presentation, and please feel free to give me a contact if you have any further questions.